What's happened to New York happened to Iran in 1979. In my posts, actually, I have compared the speeches of Mamdani, the New York City's mayor, with the Ayatollah of Khomeini of Iran. If you didn't know who is talking who and what is being told and when in the history, you would think Ayatollah Khomeini of Iran, the murderous Muslim who the left pushed to get elected in Iran, has been resurrected in the body of Mamdani.
Welcome to the Men's Alliance podcast today, guys. We've got an incredible guest that I'm really excited about talking with and hearing his story. Guys, this is Mohamad Faridi. Mohamad, welcome to the Men's Alliance podcast, brother.
Thanks for having me.
Man, so, I came across some of your videos on social media and started looking into your website and realizing this ministry that you have going. And I'm really looking forward to hearing your personal story today, one of coming out of Islam and into Christianity. So we see so much going on in the news about this right now.
Yes, sir.
It feels like culturally we're headed towards something, and would love to hear your opinion on all that and what's happening in the world today. But before we do that, I would just love to hear your personal story. And if you can share with us a little bit about where you were and how you got to where you are now, we would love to hear.
Sure. The word Muhammad and Christianity are a little, these two words, they're self-contradictory, but I just want to tell you that this is changing, and you'll be hearing about a lot of Muhammads that they love Jesus, they're pastors, they're not insider movement or any of this Chrislam garbage that's going on. They actually denounce Muhammad, the false prophet of Islam, and accepting Jesus as their Lord and Savior. So I was born and raised in the Islamic Republic of Iran in 1984, 5 years after the second takeover of Islam over our country. And I was born to a family that had a lot of pride in sacrificing their son for the sake of Islam. My family has the title of Shaheed, the family of Shaheed, meaning they have martyrs in our families. My grandparents sacrificed their son. My dad's brother, my uncle, for the sake of Islam. And he died in the Iran-Iraq war. And we were honored as a result. We were given the greatest honor bestowed upon Muslims. And his mural was painted on the biggest mosque in their neighborhood. We have streets to our last names inside Iran. And that's the type of family environment I grew up in. All butterflies and unicorns, for sure.
So there's some reference there to the history of Iran, right? And so just briefly share with us a little bit about, you said the second takeover. So, Iran as a secular nation, and then Iran as an Islamic, would you say caliphate?
Sure. What's happened to New York happened to Iran in 1979. In my posts, actually, I have compared the speeches of Mamdani, the New York City's mayor, with the Ayatollah of Khomeini of Iran. If you didn't know who is talking who and what is being told and when in the history, you would think Ayatollah Khomeini of Iran, the murderous Muslim who the left pushed to get elected in Iran, has been resurrected in the body of Mamdani. Public transportation for free, electricity, governmental housing, governmental grocery store, everything that the Ayatollah of Iran promised Iranian people in 1979, Mamdani is doing it in 2025. So we have heard these things, we have seen it, we have experienced it. These Islamists, they have one goal in their mind, to take over a nation, a city, and they press Sharia down the throat of those people to make it comply with the Islamic rules. And that's their goal. That's the goal of Mamdani, and that's the goal of Ayatollah Khomeini. They talk the same language. They pander to people really well. They talk the language, but when when they are in power, they are another demon that you never heard about them while they're not. Iranian people in 1979, oh my goodness, they were voting for Ayatollah Khomeini and get free. I mean, what's better than free? And what did they got? They got injustice, brutality. The petroleum money that was supposed to come to the tables of the Iranian now is being spent in Hezbollah, in Hamas, in Afghanistan, and all these places to advance this religion that no one wants inside Iran now. So that's the goal of Islam. That's the goal of this regime. And the second takeover of Iran was the 1979 Islamic Revolution. The first one was when the second caliphate of Islam, after the death of the self-diagnosed prophet of Islam, the two biggest kingdoms were the Byzantine Empire, I believe, and then the Persians. They fought against one another that they were exhausted. And then the rise of Islam during that time, the invasion of Iran happened when the Iranian kingdom was at its weakest. They were exhausted from the fights of the West, and then this Islamic rise comes and takes over Iran. And that was the number one invasion 13 centuries ago. And the second one was when 1979, because the king of Iran helped tremendously to walk Iranian out of Islam and Sharia and Islamic rule. But then the Ayatollah was risen. The Ayatollah was pushed forward, but with Jimmy Carter, the leftist, and the leftists of France and Great Britain, and they took over petroleum dispute. And then they were thinking, the left was thinking, we put an Islamist in power and control him. And Islamists of Iran called them the useful idiots. And then when they got in power, they removed and exterminated the left really quick out of Iran, and Iran became the Islamic Republic that it is today.
It's interesting hearing you talk about the partnership in Iran in 1979 and the years leading up to 79, the partnership between the left and the Muslims. We see the exact same thing happening here in America today, and it's strange bedfellows because they don't share common beliefs whatsoever.
They do greatly.
Well, not in certain areas, right? Like I think that
not on surface.
I think that leftists think they're more of allies than they are. But like you said, once Islam comes to power, they're going to throw out the leftists, right?
Absolutely, but either one don't care. Either one, they both hate Christianity.
Right,
both are the enemies of Christianity.
Their common,
the common denominator is not only that. Yes, the left thinks that they are atheistic in their beliefs, and the Muslims are monotheistic supposedly. But past that, everything is similar. Everything is identical, pretty much, because both are revolutionary. Both are against the systems. Both are against Christians. Both are against the Church of God. Both are against the capitalism and the property ownership. So they align themselves really well, actually, really well.
No, on those topics, you're absolutely right. That's an excellent point. I think what I had in mind was the one of the big platforms of the left is LGBTQ.
Yeah, and as I said, on the surface, Muslims, if they could come out, they're more homosexual than the left.
Really? Tell me about that.
Absolutely. Because the separation of women from men and in Islamic world, and it causes the man sleep with men and woman with women.
Really?
The segregation,
okay, I did not
there's another word.
That.
It's not segregation. There's another word for when they separate the the society in two genders, and as a result, people become homosexual. But according to the surface of Islamic doctrine, homosexuality is a sin. But they're
Right.
homosexuals. It's commonly in the Islamic world, you see in governmental positions, in a lot of things, that Muslim men are sleeping with Muslim men. It's a common practice even in Afghanistan.
Now that's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah, and my brother-in-law is a chaplain. He has seen it with his eyes. It's a very common thing because they have. Oh my goodness, this word is going to come to me. When they separate the genders, it becomes to the point that it's the society is so unhealthy. Man have been growing up with man and woman with woman that they burn in the sin together. But as I said, the left is supposedly homosexual worshipping group, and Muslims are against that. And they, I don't know, in the West they say they throw them off the cliffs or whatever. It's just made up stuff in the West. They're not. They're actually more homosexual than the left.
Wow. Okay, I had not heard that, but it does make sense with what I have, seen in Afghanistan. So to me that makes me think it's demonic.
Both are. Yeah, the left is as
that's
demonic
just the word that comes.
as Islam is. Both were
Yeah.
incepted. Both were born in the same pit of hell as one another.
So you were starting off telling us about your family and how the martyrdom was honored and celebrated and kind of elevated your family to an honored celebrity status in their neighborhood and such. And
Absolutely.
I guess that's a very pragmatic way to create more martyrs, right? Knowing that, my family will be honored.
Yeah, President Trump talked about this a while ago, which I was thinking it's way beyond his man's wisdom to say something like that. He was talking about when the heroes of the society are the actresses, sportsmen, or things of that nature. People are willing to grow up to that status, to become an actor, actress, singer, performer, or a good athlete. But in the Middle Eastern society, death is worshipped. Just like the left, it's just another very similar, identical thing between left and Muslims. They both worship death. Look at the Western women, that they do anything to kill their own babies.
Yeah.
It's the exact same spirit that my mom had. It's the exact same. She desired. Look at for example, in October 7th of 23, when that Muslim man called and said, "Mom, I have the blood of Jews on my hand." The son was talking to his mom, his dad. They were celebrating and screaming that this is a great thing. And then the kid dies for the sake of Allah, as the abortionists kill their own babies. It's the exact spirit. It just has a different twist on it. And
Wow.
Anyway, I just thought I throw that in for free, and I'm not going to charge anybody for that. But that's the truth. They both love killing their own children. The left does, and Muslims do. Here I was in Iran growing up, of course, in this type of family, in this type of environment. Everything was Islamicized. Everything. To be a Muslim is to be an Arab. Even though we're Persians, we had to recite and learn Arabic and do our prayers in Arabic. I was 8 years old. I went to my mom. I said, "Mom, we're Persians. Why do I need to speak Arabic to God? Can I speak to him in Farsi?" And my mom, of course, says, "No, a good Muslim surrenders." Here I was trying to ask a curious, genuine question as a child from my mom.
Yeah.
That why are we worshiping God in another language if He has created us in Farsi? And she quotes me the Quran, chapter 5, verse 101. "In the matters that have been revealed to you, do not ask questions. If you ask question, leads to doubt, and doubt leads to sin, and Allah will burn you in hell." And
Oh,
I
my
didn't.
goodness.
She scared the hell out of me. I mean, literally speaking.
Yeah.
I was young. I didn't want to go to hell. So I surrendered. Islam, the word Islam comes from the word taslim, which means surrender. So I surrendered to the will of Allah, and I wanted to be a good Muslim, be pleasing to Him. We are, as Shia Muslims, we do penance. We self-flagellate, beat our bodies during the funeral ceremonies, the anniversary of the death of these imams that they are connected with Allah, supposedly have favor of Allah. So we connect to them to connect to, just very similar to that a lot of other religions such as Buddhism, Hindus. You see it all over the world. Many Catholics do that. In order to connect to God, because you cannot approach Him because you're sinful and He's holy, you connect to somebody that is gone before you as a saint. That's the Shia version of it. These imams, they have died, and they have a special place with Allah, and you're trying to earn their favor. So you mourn ritually, wail and cry and beat your chest, and then you go to their shrines and you get flags and you beat your back, and then you with a sword you cut your head. And then you shed your own blood to sanctify yourself. So I grow up with the idea and understanding about what sacrifice means. Everything was the culture. The Islamic culture is filled with the word sacrifice. Sacrifice for Allah. Sacrifice your child for Allah. To sacrifice animals. For example, if somebody gets married, you buy a car to cast off the evil spirit. You sacrifice and put the blood of that animal on the door, on the car, on the tires, to protect you from that evil that is going to happen. So blood brings protection, sacrifice brings protection. So that was the culture I grew up in. And here I was, finished my military service, and I was part of the IRGC, Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps of Iran, and I was trained to be a martyr for Islam. And even though I did a lot of physical training and this and that, but it was more about being spiritually prepared. Part of our training was that they put us in empty tomb and graves during the night to fight the fear of death.
Wow.
And this was part of my training. I was dreaming and praying to Allah to give me the honor to become like my uncle. Here I was, I came back from my military service and trying to live my life, being a good Muslim, fulfill what Allah has asked of me. And a friend of mine, which was exempt from military service, I talked to him, and that man shared the gospel of the Lord Jesus Christ with me. He put his life in danger in Iran, and shared the gospel with me and said Jesus has changed his life. We argued. I argued with him tremendously, but then he shared the death, burial, and the resurrection of Christ. He said Jesus was beaten, he was bruised, he was cut, his blood was shed, he gave up his life, he was sacrificed for your life. When he said that, something tore up my heart. I mean, I just knew how wicked I was before a holy God, trying to please him by my righteousness. And everything I was trying to do as a Muslim caused more depression, more nihilism, more of getting nowhere with God. The more I ran toward him, the more the God of Islam, the fake God of Islam, ran away from me. And the problem of sin, condemnation, was always with me. I would humiliate myself, drag myself on the shrine of an imam, my face down, crawl like a worm to humiliate myself that I get something, I receive something. And then I heard Jesus has done everything for me. He was sacrificed, he gave up his life. That's the best thing I've ever heard. And that day, that moment when I heard the gospel, the veil of deception was these scales that were blocking me from seeing the truth, it just will fill off. And I knew that Jesus is the truth, the way, and life.
Wow. When your friend shared this gospel with you, was it immediate? Was this like one day, a conversation, or was this a process over a long time?
2 hours.
Wow.
I could say it was 30 seconds, because when I heard the gospel, that's what it did it.
How old were you?
Almost 22 years old, at the end of 21.
Okay. Oh my goodness. So what did life look like for you at that point as a brand new Christian living in Iran and in a Muslim family? What happened next?
Well, then don't they tell you Islam is peace? Islam is kumbaya. That's what happened to me. I went and told my parents, oh, I become a Christian. I denounced your fake God and your fake religion and your fake prophet, and I'm a Christian. I'm going to follow Jesus. And they said, oh, my son, we agree with what you believe now. Is that what do you think what happened to me?
Absolutely not.
So stop saying Islam is peace, because there was no peace. War started in our family after my dad realized he violently beaten me, and I ran away from home for my life because I knew if he gets his hand on me once again, probably I won't have a chance. And that's Islam. It's intolerant of any other ideology other than itself. One of the teachings of Islam, I just want to bring that to you. They teach you from childhood, like your mother's milk. They feed this: love Muslims and hate the non-Muslims. Love Muslim, hate the non-Muslim. Love your Muslim, hate the non-Muslims. And now I was a non-Muslim. They were commanded me to hate me, even with my parents. So I was ran away from home, and then after sleeping on rooftops and doorways and getting beaten by cockroaches and mosquitoes and other things such as that, I got so miserable that I contacted my friend who put me in this trouble, and I told him, his name is Rasul. I said, Rasul, I don't think I can go home, and things are really bad for me. And he said, yeah, in the beginning my family reacted the same ways, but you could come to our home and we'll figure it out. Things will change. And I went to their home not knowing that the whole family were converts. Their house was an underground church, the house church inside Iran. So I spent time with them, and they discipled me. We worshiped the Lord Jesus there and listened to sermons on TV and read the Bible, fasted together. And I was really encouraged the time that I was there. While my biological family rejected me, God prepared another family for me to receive me.
Hey, men. Thrivent is proud to support Men's Alliance's goals, and financial advisor Dr. Andrew Newman, call sign Sage, is excited to help tribe members and those they care about make financial choices guided by their Christian values. Faith is what fuels Andrew. Does it fuel you too? Call Andrew today at 612-246-0725 so you can take care of yourself and those you care about, including your local tribe and Men's Alliance. Wow. This is a very powerful story, as you know, because for decades, for over an entire generation now, here in America, people have been told, right, that Islam is a religion of peace, and that the violent extremists, well, those are just a few of the radicals on the fringe, right? But I think it is maybe not quite that way. Could you explain the reality of it?
Praise the Lord. That's the false dichotomy that is pushed on the West, that the radicals are the bad Muslims and the seculars are the good. That's a false dichotomy. That's the opposite, exactly. So if you follow Islam and follow the self-diagnosed prophet of Islam, or the most obvious false prophet in the world, Prophet Muhammad, that's what he did. He was a very violent man, adulterous. He was a pedophile when he married a 6 years old and consummated the marriage with her when she was 9 years old. Everything he has done, it's the example that Muslims follow. So don't be surprised. This prophet lied when he was becoming a warlord. He cut treaties, and during the treaties he lied, and he said whatever advances Islam is good for Allah. So the lying is a good thing in Islamic culture when you're advancing Islam, and those are the examples that the Muslims follow. And he said that until the whole world is not Islamicized, the end will not come, and they will continue to push that. They believe that they have the superior religion. They believe they have the superior political views. They believe Sharia is far superior to the Constitution of the U.S. or any other man-made laws, according to them. And Sharia is the Islamic rule that codifies everything in the life of a Muslim and in the life of a non-Muslim. So they believe that societies needs to be run by Sharia and not man-made laws such as Constitution of America. So they will fight. They continue to fight because they were commanded to. And when they fight, They're following Muhammad. And those Muslims that they are not fighting, it doesn't mean that they're good Muslims.
Are the what we might call the moderate Muslims, or the Muslims who are not fighting, would you say some of them are living in fear of the fundamentalist Muslims?
They sure do. It is like, let me put it this way for the Western and Christian mindset to work out. So Jesus has commanded a lot of things to Christians to do. A lot of things. Like, you have to deny yourself every day. But how many Christians do you know that they live that daily? They deny themselves and they put others ahead of themselves. Or when people curse them, they bless them. I mean, if you're in a traffic, somebody flips you, the first thing you do, you flip him back. But Jesus said that when they flip you, you bless them. You give him $100 or something to bless them. So does it mean that those Christians that they're not living by the codes and by the commandments of Jesus, they're the true Christians? No, it's just to the degree that people decide to obey that ideology or that religion, they're going to live by it. Those secular Muslims that you've seen, many of them are covers, but whenever the time comes, they will always come out to support Islam and Sharia. But many of them have decided we don't want to live with this backward 7th century Bedouin garbage. They have decided that. They're just culturally Muslim. They don't know what Islam is. But the danger is when these people they open their books or go to a mosque, hear the sermons, they would be activated to fight the non-Muslims, because that's the commandments of Islam. That's in the Quran. Yeah. That's what a good Muslim does.
Yeah. So you started off by talking about the similarities between Mamdani and New York City and the Ayatollah. Take us down the next couple steps of where we're headed, unless things radically change. But the course that we seem to be on, with Michigan, New York, large areas of Texas. Yeah, Texas.
Oh my God, California is gone. Mm-hmm.
Talk to us about what is happening, because I fear that a lot of Americans are kind of asleep at the wheel and don't realize that the temperature of the water is getting hotter and hotter, and of course by the time it's boiling it'll be too late.
Very much. The plan is always the same. Islam has been always consistent. It has never changed. The message has never changed. 14 centuries of history shows that Muslims hate non-Muslims. Muslims have been the number one enemy of Christianity and Judaism. Three-quarter of the Christian world have been demolished by Muslims, as from the city of Antioch to Constantinople to Alexandria. Everything that used to be in Middle East, the Christendom, has been destroyed absolutely with this imperialistic, diabolic religion that hates Christianity, have been taken over. And if it wasn't because of the Rome and the Christians in Europe, we would have been speaking Arabic today. If those Christians, the way they were, if those Christians, the way we are in America and the West, there would be no Christianity left. There would be no English language left. Those Christians, they fought these Muslims. They gave up their lives, sacrificed their lives to keep Islam out of the West. The only place that left was Rome at that time, which had anything to do with Christianity. Now, imagine 14 centuries of this. 50 years ago, the American and the Western Christians decided now, not that we don't fight these people anymore, not that we don't keep them at bay anymore, not that we're neutral toward it. Now we enable them. We bring them in. It's, Lord, come back before it's too late. I mean, that's how things have shifted in Christianity, that the Christians have become doormats, runovers, cowardice, complacence, and so many other things. That's what happened. That is what has happened to the Christianity of the West. The very people that fought nail and tooth to keep Islamists, jihadists, Muslims out of their countries and out of nations to keep the church, to keep the West Christian. Now, not that they only fight, not that they're neutral, they are enabling and bringing them in and accommodating them. And then, even worse, if you say anything, they persecute and prosecute those that are warning what's happening, such as us.
Yeah, I think we're really seeing this happen a lot right now in the United Kingdom, where
all over the Western world, but the most obvious is UK, all of UK, Ireland, everywhere, and then the second worst is Germany, the third worst is France, fourth worst is Sweden, Norway. It's been already taken over. You cannot, anywhere in Europe, you cannot say anything negative about this pedophile prophet of Islam. You cannot. There's blasphemy laws and censorships, and they knock on your door and rip you out of your families and your home and throw you in prison. It hasn't happened in America yet, and it's because of Elon Musk and President Trump. Imagine
like
Kamala Harris.
What you just said just needs to sink in a little bit, right? People need to just digest what you just said, because anti-blasphemy laws, this is a big part of Sharia law, correct?
Very much.
Yeah,
and
so
Sharia is completely imposed.
Yeah, so we're seeing the fact that, okay, so for example, an American like myself, we see on the internet, we see Britons being arrested for a Facebook post about Islamic immigrants. They're being arrested, and I think the way I view that, is we view that as a loss of free speech, right? We see that and we're like, oh, they're losing their freedom of speech. But what it's really is it's not the loss of a law, it's the imposition of a new law. It is Sharia law, anti-blasphemy laws, where it's literally illegal to speak negatively, I guess, about Islam, about Muhammad.
No, speak truth. You don't need to say anything negative. Islam is such a weak ideology. It never stands any scrutiny. When the society is free, Islam vanishes it. It just vanishes. It is such a dumb idea. It's such a weak ideology. I'm trying to be as polite as possible. I mean, how could you defend a pedophile? How?
Well, that's what I was going to ask you next.
A holy man.
So does a devout, what's their argument? Like, what's the counter argument here? If I'm talking to a fundamentalist Muslim, how would they defend the actions of their prophet?
They say he did it, we do it. What's your deal? That's their there is no defense.
Wow.
What are you going to say? That's their argument. And they always win in an intimidation, in a fear-mongering situation. They will never win in a free society. How could you going to defend? They're going to lump them together, intimidate you, and when you bow down, that's what they're going to do. They continue.
Yeah. What's the climate like right now in Iran? Is there hope for freedom? Will this caliphate be overthrown? Will the Islamic people have? Will the Iranian people once again have freedom? Is there no hope? What's your opinion?
Oh my gosh, it's you came to my till now. I wasn't in my bread and butter. Now I'm in the bread and butter. So, 2021 there was a survey done in Iran. 50,000 Iranian Muslims were asked questions about their faith and religion. Where do they stand? Less than 1/3 they claim to be Muslims.
Wow.
The Islamic regime of Iran took Iran, that was the Paris or the South, we shouldn't say Paris. Paris is Islamicide. What Tehran used to be it was the South Korea of the Middle East. Iran was a nation open to trade. We had direct flight from Tehran to Tel Aviv. We were pro-Israel. We were pro-West. And Iranian people culturally identified as Muslims, but they would drink Thursday night and then Fridays go to mosque and repent. That was the extent of the religion. That's how much they knew about Islam. Iranians, Persians, they don't speak Arabic, so they cannot read the text of Islam. So they didn't know. They were thinking, oh, Islam is a cute thing. And then Islam becomes in power, takes over. And Islamists teach Iranian people what Islam is. And the Iranian people hate it. They all hate it. We talk to thousands of Iranian per year. Our team, our ministry talks to thousands of Iranian per year. They hate anything Islam, religious, anything associated with Allah, anything associated with the 7th century Bedouin barbaric ideology. They hate it. That's what the Islamists, the Ayatollahs, did to Iranian people. They showed them what Islam is, and the Iranians said, no, thank you. We don't want this garbage 7th century Bedouin Arab barbaric practices as called. We're Persians. Mm-hmm. Civilization started in Persia. What are you guys talking about? So they were awakened to what Islam is, and they're walking away from it by thousands. And the vacuum is being filled by Christianity because it's very close. The biblical culture is very close to the culture of Christianity. To the culture of Persians. The hospitality, the loving your neighbors, being welcoming. All of these things is very similar to the Persian culture, and they're accepting Jesus by droves. Fact check me on Prophet Google. Go and search where is the fastest evangelical growing church in the world. Iranians are number one. That is the best thing that has happened to the Iranian people. The revolution of Iran, the Ayatollahs coming to power in Iran, it was the best awakening, the wake-up call for the Persians. Now they know what Islam is, and when you know it, you don't want it. It's clear for you that cuddly, pretty religion that once you thought it is, now you know what it is, so you say, oh, I don't want it.
Wow. So less than a third. So I guess that
that number is very conservative, though.
The threat,
it's much greater.
The fear is what's keeping the power. Do you think
the
it's going to tip?
Peaceful Muslims are irrelevant, brother.
Sure.
The peaceful Muslims are irrelevant. Always the jihadi, always the violent, the bloodthirsty. In any nation that you see, they're in power. The peaceful Muslim, the moderate Muslims are irrelevant.
Right.
They have no talk or say.
Yeah. So do you predict that there will be a rising up against Islam in Iran?
It has been many times, but it doesn't get anywhere because Iranian people are defenseless. They have no weapons. They don't have guns. It's just you can't fight tanks, and they shot people in the head. This Islamic regime puts soldiers on the rooftops of mosques, hospitals, schools, and shoot the Iranian people in the heart, in the eyes. They're that kind of people. You challenge anything Islam, you're challenging God, and you're worthy to die. And they are that's part of Sharia too. So, and then you don't have guns. How are you going to defend yourself?
Wow. So now we're talking how the Second Amendment now connects to this.
Yep.
Was there ever a time in Iran?
The things that you see in Australia, UK, France, continually is happening. You don't see it in America yet. I put that in there. Yet, it's because of the Second Amendment. The next mass shooting, and then the next election, Obama resurrected. This is just not literal, but when Obama or the left is resurrected, they're going to fight the guns. They say, the mass shooting is because of guns, even though in Australia, the guy that killed 15 people, there is no guns in Australia. The only person had gun was the jihadi Muslim from Pakistan. And then who did they blame? Did they blame Islam? No, they blamed the guns. There's no guns, but they blamed, and people couldn't defend themselves. They were being shot at by a jihadi Muslim, and they couldn't defend themselves.
Yeah.
Imagine that. And then when that happens in America, they would pass gun laws or they get rid of the Second Amendment, and that's it. That's the end of the free world.
Yeah. No, I agree with you completely. Tell us about your ministry. Tell us about what your organization is doing.
Before we go there, I wrote a book called Forsaking My Father's Religion. This is more of what I didn't share on this podcast. This book is free. You can go to our website, Iran or Iran, IranChristians.org. It's true, Iran.
IranChristians.org. Great. We'll put that link here in our show.
Yeah, and then this book is available on my website. It's absolutely free of charge. And if you want to find me or my stuff, what I talk about, it is Mohamad Faridi. I have a YouTube channel, 117,000 subscribers there. And my ministry is called Iranian Christians International. It was founded in 1981, before I was born, by an ex-Muslim. And the ministry is about evangelizing Muslims with the gospel of the Lord Jesus Christ. We had 1,300 salvations just this year, handing out these New Testaments. We hand out these New Testaments to Muslims and talk to them about the Lord, and they're coming to faith. And when they abandon this diabolical religion and become followers of Christ, we baptize them, make disciples, and then connect them to the underground church. And those are a couple of things that we do, and I speak in America or in churches all over the world. So.
Wow. Where is most of your work concentrated? Is it in Iran? Is it? Yeah. Okay.
Our headquarters here, but we have offices in 2 neighboring countries of Iran, and we have employees there. So, yeah.
Wow. Hey guys, let me tell you about a great tribesman-run business, Rainbow Restoration of Greater Virginia. They exist for one purpose, and that is to be the solution when a problem arises, whether it is a burst pipe or a kitchen fire or a mold infestation or even a large-scale commercial disaster. They are the team that shows up to help you rebuild when things have been broken. They do more than just restore homes and businesses. They restore peace of mind. They have a clear mission to enrich the lives of our community by rebuilding after the unexpected. They're not just contractors. They are a Class A general contractor with the experience and expertise to handle everything from mitigation to reconstruction, and they do it all with integrity, respect, accountability, teamwork, and discipline. And I can tell you from experience, I have personally used them. Rainbow Restoration has helped me with a construction project that I was left high and dry, or actually slightly underwater with, from a previous builder. Rainbow Restoration came in, absolutely took care of everything, fixed everything. So definitely check them out. If you are in need, go to rainbowrestoreva.com. That's rainbowrestoreva.com, or follow them on social media. My goodness. I'll tell you what, this is something that, like I said, Americans have been largely asleep to, right? And I see around every city, every state, Americans are just beginning to wake up. Although I fear we're waking up too late. But
I don't think so.
Of course,
no.
With God, it's never too late.
No.
Right? With God, it's never too late.
I don't think so. It's I believe that the good sign in 2024 was the election, and how decisively, I think I made up that word.
Yeah.
English is my third language, so I've been in America 13 years. I'm learning how decisive the victory of Trump over Kamala Harris was.
Yeah.
And that turned things around in America. And when Elon Musk bought Twitter, he rescued the free speech. And I think Americans are waking up to it. But please don't get too comfortable. Please don't get too comfortable and compliant and say, well, these two people are going to save us. No, the church is the answer. The Christians are the answer. The Christians have always held the walls of fire. Those are the people that they held these Islamists, these ideologies out of their homes, out of their churches, out of their countries, out of their nations. You need to be fighting. This is not Christianity is not a cruise ship. It's a worship. And you need to be always, always defending you, your heart, your mind, defending your family, and defending this nation.
Wow. Give us some advice to Christians. How can we best, when we have conversations with neighbors and coworkers who are Muslims, what is a good way for us to communicate and help bring them out of Islam and share the gospel of Christ with them? Do you have any advice for us?
I'm afraid to start even because you've been programmed and brainwashed by the leftist Christianity that somehow you have to be respectful and not be offensive and blah, blah, blah. This weakling Christianity that is enabling its enemies. I'm not talking about that. If you're talking to Muslims, the only thing they respect, conviction is what they respect. Because they're very, even though their religion is weak and backward and weird, they're convicted. That's you could see in them.
Yeah.
They believe but this Christianity that, oh, I'm sorry if I'm going to pray for you, this sissified Jesus, that's what they hate. So don't take it to them, please. If you can't take the true gospel, the Lion of Judah, if you cannot take him to them, don't take it at all. Let us do it for you.
Whoa,
So,
that is some good advice, brother.
so when you approach him, you need to approach him with conviction. You need to approach him truthfully. So you don't have, I'm helping you that you might, in 3 years down the road, you might ask me. No, they're misusing you. Their culture is always that. They're taking advantage of others. Love for the Muslim, hate for the non-Muslim. So don't go like that. You need to be truthful. You need to be loving. You need to be strong. Convictions, what we lack. And then you need to approach them with truth and tell them about Jesus and what Jesus has done for them. They need to know that they are on their way to hell, and Jesus has provided a way out.
Yeah.
And then don't tell me that this doesn't work. I don't want to hear you telling me that. If you lead as many people I lead to the Lord per year, then you come and tell me what's your method is better than my method. We're working this out, and it is working. We tell them, we give them a Bible. Your religion is false. My religion is true. My God is alive and well. He's resurrected. He's alive and well. Your prophet and your God is dead and has no answer for you. Which one would you pick?
Wow.
Maybe soften it up to your the way you talk it, but that's how we approach it.
Yeah. No, I think there's a lot to what you're saying. If you're not convicted about something, if you're not passionate about something, how could you expect anyone else to be?
Exactly. If you're not, what do you expect them to be? Oh, I mean, I hear the weirdest stories. Like 3-4 years, this Muslim neighbor, we've been saying hi to them and being nice to them. Where in the Bible says that? I mean, what Bible you reading? I'm not reading to be nice to people.
Mm-hmm.
No,
that's right. We're told that the gospel is offensive, right? And so we've got to remember that as Christians, as we bring an offensive message. It was so offensive that they crucified Jesus.
Yeah,
right?
Apostle Paul says if I'm not preaching the cross, if I'm preaching circumcision, why am I being persecuted?
Yeah.
Just think about it. If I'm not preaching the gospel of the Lord Jesus Christ, why am I being persecuted? Of course you will be persecuted. He himself in the Bible told Timothy, all who desire to live godly shall be persecuted. If you're not being persecuted, you're not living godly.
Yeah. Hey, I want to ask you a different line of question here, because this has just been a conversation that I've had recently with a lot of Christians. And so there's this dichotomy here that is a rising conversation right now in America about fighting versus turning the other cheek, and fighting against Islam should the time come, as you know, you see laws being passed, and if we're at, if the Second Amendment, like you said, with the next president and all this. And so I'm just curious, what's your position on taking up arms versus the teachings of don't resist an evil person?
Well, if you read the Bible, in the book of Luke, Jesus told his disciple to sell your cloak and buy a sword. Put that in your turn the other cheek verse, pipe and smoke it. That's what Jesus told his disciples. Sell your cloak, buy a sword. There is the most loving thing you could do as a Christian, to defend the weak, to defend the orphan, to defend the widows, defend the women that they cannot defend themselves as men. If God forbid somebody, if I'm sharing the gospel with somebody, let me tell you when I turn my cheek and when I don't turn my cheek. If I'm sharing the gospel with a Muslim in Middle East and he doesn't like my message and spits on me, I'm not spitting on him. I say, God bless you. And I wipe off the spit and move on. That's turning the other cheek. But if God forbid, if the same Muslim comes after my wife, I will tear him apart. God is or my children, or the people that I love. The shepherd, the job of a shepherd is to protect. The most loving thing you could ever do, to protect. This is your instinct. Anything against it is ungodly. You've been brainwashed, brothers and sisters, whoever you're listening. You've been brainwashed if you believe anything other than this. The most loving thing you could do is to protect the weak, the people that they cannot defend themselves. The most loving thing is that guy, that Christian from Lebanon, that rescued the shooting from one of those shooters, the Islamists, that jumped on him and defend him. He got shot. He defended them. That's the most loving thing you could do. And he was a Christian. Even though they introduced him as a Muslim, because his name is Ahmed. It's like you say, I'm a Muslim because my name is Muhammad. You are stereotyping people. No. The guy was a Christian from Lebanon and saw this Muslim jihadis are killing Jews. He jumped and he was shot and rescued them. That's the most loving thing. And that's the instinct that God has put in us. Self-defense is the total. I mean, the war of if you pick up guns and just shoot random people, that's evil. But if you're defending your nation, the church of God, the weak, the people that they cannot defend themselves, that's the most loving thing you could do. That's one verse in the book of Luke, in the Gospels, that Jesus tells his disciples to sell your cloak and buy a sword. And then the other one is when he says the things are changing, times are changing, and the disciple says, here we have 2 swords. He says, enough. I'm sure that this past Sunday you didn't hear any sermons on the 2 swords of Christ. But I'll encourage you to look up those verses there. It's in the Bible. Yeah.
Well, I really like your explanation there between being spit on and turning the other cheek and protecting and defending others. I think that's very, very well said. As we bring things to a close here, I want to give you an opportunity to say, what have I not asked you? What have we not talked about that you would like to say? What message do you want to get out that we haven't talked about yet?
Well, you must be thinking these days that the end is coming closer and closer, which is true. It is. The end is drawing near, but don't help. Don't just crawl back into your buy tribulation food and get guns and load up and try to survive. It's not the response of a Christian. The end is getting closer. The world is getting darker, but you should shine brighter and brighter and brighter as a Christian. And wow. I will not partake in these things such as, everything's going to go down and this they're going to take over, blah, blah. No. I will get closer to God and my relationship with Him and with the calling He has called me to, and stand firm in the faith, in my relationship with God, and protect your mind and hearts and ears from what you hear, because we're very susceptible to the deception these days, so you don't want to be deceived. You want to be sticking your nose into the Bible and partake in a good church, find a good community of believers, stick with them, and get closer to them, to God, and to your family. And we need to be on the right side. There were 10 virgins Then when the bridegroom came back, 5 were left out without no oil. You don't want to be one of those. You don't want to. You want to be having a lot of oil. When he comes back, you're ready, and when he sees you, it says, "Good and faithful servant."
Wow. Thank you so much. I'll tell you what, this has been informative for me. You've taught me a few things here about Islam and about Iran, and I really appreciate your time. And IranChristians.org. Guys, go check out this website. Get this free book. Mohamad Faridi, thank you so much for your time, brother.
God bless you, brother. Appreciate you.
To find out more about what we are doing in Men's Alliance, go to men'salliancetribe.com. This will help you find a tribe near you. We have grown so much over the past few years. There are thousands of tribesmen all over the country in hundreds of tribes. We're growing every single week. Go to men'salliancetribe.com, find a tribe near you, or maybe you're the man to start one in your area.